has been filed at the Supreme Court seeking to end the gridlock at the Senate. Good morning. I'm Attorney Jimeno, and this is At the Forefront. Many have said that the Supreme Court can break the gridlock at the Senate. On Friday, high school teacher John Barry Tayam filed a petition before the High Court to affirm the legality of the June 3 session in the Senate. During that session, a quorum was declared with only 12 senators. All positions at the Senate were declared vacant. New chairmanships were assigned. But former Senate President Franklin Drilon also warned that the High Court might not interfere due to the so-called political question doctrine. It is a principle in constitutional law where a court can refuse to hear a case that involves executive or legislative branches, adding that the issue should be resolved by the political leaders. Let's get the insights of teacher John Barry. He joins us in the program. Good morning, teacher Barry.
Good morning, Atty. Karen. Thank you for inviting me.
So we saw you file the petition in the Supreme Court on Friday. What is the objective of your petition?
Well, the objective is to ask the Supreme Court whether there was a quorum legally last June 3rd, 2026, or on the day that Senator Escudero appeared and completed 12 senator to do a quorum.
Mm-hmm. So what was the reason why you chose to do a petition for certiorari, which under our law would require grave abuse of discretion on the part of the respondents? Why not a petition for quo warranto, which questions the legal authority of, in this case, your respondents are Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, Senator Pia Cayetano, and Senator Lauren Regarda. So if you're questioning their authority right now to be holding the Senate President position, Blue Ribbon Committee position, and Senate President pro tempore respectively, bakit petition for certiorari instead of quo warranto?
Well, I'm kind of afraid kasi na baka ma-compromise yung aking legal standing to do the quo warranto. And at the same time, as my legal standing as a citizen, taxpayer, and a registered voter, I think the petition for certiorari under Rule 65 will be applicable for this case. Sa petition for certiorari, there could be a grave abuse of discretion on the possibility na may mga nalabag ito o nag-exceed doon sa kanilang authority or jurisdiction itong mga respondents nila Senator Cayetano, Senator Pia, and Senator Lauren Legarda.
Can you explain to me, aling grave abuse of discretion? What acts did they do wherein you're imputing grave abuse of discretion?
Well, kasi po last June 3rd, nung nasabing nagkaroon ng quorum, all of the leadership's committee memberships as well and has been declared vacant. Then at the same time, I do believe na hindi na po official as Senate President si Senator Alan Peter Cayetano, hindi na rin po Senate pro tempore si Senator Lauren Regarda. Same way, hindi na rin po chairperson si Senator Pia Cayetano doon sa Senate Blue Ribbon Committee.
So kung ganon, di ba pagka sinabing grave abuse of discretion, you have to identify which act amounted to grave abuse of discretion, amounting to lack or excess of jurisdiction. So specifically, what was your allegation? Which acts did they perform or do that amounted to grave abuse of discretion?
Well, same way, since I do say na wala na silang capacity, but still, Senator Alan Peter Cayetano still acting as the Senate President at parang hindi niya tinatanggap na hindi siya inalis or hindi niya rin tinatanggap at the same time yung authority leadership ni Senator Gatchalian. Then si Senator Pia that time ay nag-held siya ng kanyang Senate Blue Ribbon Committee hearing. And at the same time, noong time na yun, dineclare kasi ni Senator Gatchalian as Senate pro tempore or the same thing as acting Senate President na yung mga empleyado ng Senate that time ay mag-work from home. So nung nangyari yung hearing, wala yung secretary ng Senate and at the same time wala ding stenographer during the hearing.
So why not just file the petition for certiorari with respect to the act of holding the Blue Ribbon Committee hearing para mas matibay or malakas po yung case ninyo?
Well, it depends. I could do a manifestation on it kasi I was also expecting that the PDB Lapan would file a case. So nangyari na ginawa ko yung petition overnight And naka-indicate naman na doon lahat, I do believe na pinalawak ko lang na mas ma-affirm din at the same time yung quorum. Kasi once the quorum was affirmed, then there could be a possibility na yung mga pag-declare ng vacancy doon sa mga naging position, like for example, the Senate presidency, ay makikilala.
Oo. I saw kasi the prayers that you have, which
Yes,
would
po.
be to affirm the quorum of 12 on June 3 and to also declare that the Senate pro tempore it was proper, right? And then
Yes,
to affirm all the other acts that were resolutions of the new majority to be valid. So if we're really questioning the legal authority, siguro yung petition for co-warranto would have been a stronger case. But you're right that wala kang standing kung yun ang i-file mo because
Yes, po.
if you're a private citizen, you have to have a claim to the office that
Yes, po.
you're questioning. Bakit hindi mo na lang kinausap si Senate President Pro Tempore Sherwin Gatchalian na siya ang mag-file pero tutulungan mo siyang i-file yun? Or the OSG, Office of the Solicitor General, to file it, which would be another person with standing.
Well, I think that is too much of bureaucracy, or I could say nasa decision din nila na hindi ko rin sila pwedeng pilitin. So that could be a good option. At the same time na pwedeng kausapin si Senator Gatchalian. Pero sa panahon ngayon nagkakagulo sa Senado, I don't think na makakuha ko ng slot or ng opportunity na makausap face-to-face si Senator Gatchalian kasi this matter should be talked face-to-face. Same way with the Solicitor General. Napaka-busy ng Solicitor General. Gawa ng may oral arguments pa. Although we met last June 2, kasi I attended the oral arguments and we met there. We have some talks with the Solicitor General.
So na-meet mo ang
na-meet
Solicitor
ko.
General,
And she recognized
Darlene
me.
Berberabe, oo.
Yeah, na ikaw yung file ng file.
File ng file. So ano na bang mga final mo in the past?
Well, una po, nag-file po ako ng petition for certiorari and prohibition. Unang-una na pending hanggang ngayon, Tayam versus Recto doon sa constitutionality ng VAT refund for foreign tourists. Nagkasagutan na po kami doon ng Solicitor General and now it's pending. We're just gonna wait for the case or for the resolution of the case as well. I also filed a petition against the legality or doon sa contribution of Lawrence Lubiano to Senator Chis Escudero na naiakyat na sa from PFAD Comelec din inakyat ko po sa Supreme Court. So, good thing I asked for a motion for leave of court. It was granted. So, meaning to say, reviewin na lang siya ng Supreme Court, but at the same time, we're not sure yet kung papasa ba or hindi. Then I also asked for the constitutionality or legality nung reversal or secret reversal of the dismissal of the ombudsman before doon sa case ni Senator Joel Villanueva din.
So marami
Yes,
kang final.
marami po.
So Teacher Barry, ikaw ba nagpre-prepare nitong mga petitions na to or do you hire a lawyer to do it?
Just I don't hire a lawyer po.
Ikaw mismo?
Ako po mismo. Inaaral ko po, binabasa ko po, pinagpupuyat ako po, and sariling gastos ko rin po.
Okay, ang galing nga. I mean, I
Opo.
read the whole petition for certiorari that you filed on Friday. At wala kang mga typo, maganda yung pagkasulat. So I'm impressed that you did this yourself. You claim locus standi or standing to sue based on your being a taxpayer, a registered voter, and also a teacher.
Yes,
How does this Senate gridlock affected the education sector per se?
Well, it's a really a problematic situation right now. Kasi I also filed a petition before the Supreme Court na ngayon as a teacher, nagbago na yung curriculum and then may biglang tri-term na mangyari. Mababawas sa kami ng teaching loads. The 15 core subject of senior high school will be reduced to 5. So I was hoping na may umusad din na bill doon sa ating, I could say sa Senado. And yung pagpalit ng chairmanship from Senator Bam, napunta sa iba, then bumalik ulit kay Senator Bam. So medyo magulo. And sa long process na yung mga napasa, for example, sa House of Representatives na kailangan ng version dito sa ating Senado ay hindi maipagpatuloy. Ang daming napipending na mahalagang bagay. Even the naturalization ng dalawang athlete, foreign athletes na magbibigay sana ng karangalan sa ating bansa, and kakapasa lang na anti-political bill from the House of Representatives, kailangan din po natin ng version sa Senado. So marami pang kalusugan, pang edukasyon, and pang kalahatan po na apektuhan.
Former Senate President Franklin Drilon warns that the Supreme Court might not even decide the petition you filed and say that this is a political question. What do you say to that? But before you answer this question, we'll have to take a short break. At the forefront, we'll be right back. Welcome back at the forefront. We continue our conversation with teacher John Barry Tayam. Teacher Barry, former Senate President Franklin Drilon said that in this case, the Supreme Court might not even take jurisdiction because of the political questions doctrine, which says that, if it's a political question that relates to Senate, for example, then the courts would not have jurisdiction. What do you say to that?
Well, I do respect his opinion as the former Senate President kasi meron naman po talagang separation ng power. Iba ang authority ng Senate, iba rin sa ating judiciary. However, on the part that I read the case of Avelino versus Cuenco. So, the court did not rule naman kung valid ba yung leadership kasi ayaw ang pakialaman ng korte sa pagkakaunawa ko. But the Supreme Court ruled kung valid ba yung quorum. And they, yes, ruled through it. And ang hinili ko naman dito, hindi naman sabi na i-declare kung sino yung dapat na Senate President kasi nasa authority naman po talaga yun ng Senado kung sino talaga yung dapat nilang iboto. At hindi po pwedeng pakialamanan yun. Marami naman pong mga jurisprudence about doon na tinanong din yung legality ng mga na-elect na majority leader, chairmanship, o sino mga naging previous leaders sa Kamara and then sa Senado. Hindi po nag-rule usually sa pagkakatanda ko sa mga nabasa kong jurisprudence. Kasi nga that's political question and that would be part ng authority ng Senado o ng legislative branch. But dito, nikilaklaro natin kung yung quorum ba was valid. To make sure na yung lahat ng business na nagawa doon sa quorum na yung session na yun, lahat na pagkausapan, ay magkakaroon ng legitimacy as well.
Oh, but Avelino versus Cuenco did not really decide the quorum in terms of being a doctrine because it was only a resolution of the Supreme Court and ang naging kami even in law school before, it's doctrine that we use on political questions doctrine. So because there, the Supreme Court, by a vote of 6-4, said that it was a political question and therefore they dismissed the petition filed by then Senate President Avelino. Pero when it came to the quorum, hati din yung Supreme Court, you had 4 justices voting that there was a quorum, 4 justices voting that there was no quorum, and 2 justices that abstained. So in this case, do you think that dapat mag-decide ng Supreme Court for the first time ng doctrine talaga on quorum?
Yes, paniniwala po kasi I do believe na itong Avelino versus Cuenco ay talagang pinagdedebatehan, pinag-uusapan sa social media and iba't ibang mga
because
legal
it wasn't stare decisis on the issue of quorum, medyo obiter when it came to that issue. So do you think this time the Supreme Court has the opportunity to finally decide that issue of quorum?
Yes po, naniniwala po ako kasi I think it's time na rin to revisit. Ilang taon na rin nakalipas, that was 1949. Nagbago na rin ng ilang konstitusyon, tapos may mga bagong liderato na rin sa ating Senado. And through this, magkakaroon ng bagong decision, I could say doctrine, kasi may ibang mga cases din na pwede rin mag-fall sana before us, political question. Pero the Supreme Court, they still decided on the case, they still explain some thoughts. For example, in Francisco ruling sa impeachment, nabago yan ngayon nung nagkaroon tayo ng Sara Duterte ruling compared doon sa Francisco. Nagkaroon ng konting pagbabago, for example, sa calendar, sa session days, and then yung mga rights na dapat ma-observe doon sa inaakusahan.
So you believe dapat makialam yung Supreme Court in this case? So
Yes,
nangyayari ngayon sa Senate?
Yes po, and that's the reason why I filed the petition. Kasi kung walang mag-i-intervene sa kanila, although the executive could call for a special session under the power din naman ng ating executive head. Pero I do believe that the final say or the final arbiter should be with the Supreme Court.
And nung nagkita mo yung pagpalit ng majority in a sense, yung pagkalipat ng isang senator to the minority bloc, nagulat ka ba that it was Senator Cheese Escudero? Out of all the senators na lilipat, what was your reaction nung si Senator Cheese Escudero?
Well, hindi po siguro. Kasi may mga binabasa rin po ako mga forums, mga blogs, mga possibility, or may mga naririnig din po akong intel na possibly it could be him. So, yun po.
So, hindi ka nagulat when
hindi
he
naman.
suddenly appeared and became the 12th senator sa minority bloc?
Hindi naman po. Parang I could say siya ngayon inaasahan ko kasi tinitimbang ko sino nga ba doon from the Cayetano block yung possible. Imposible naman si Senator Bongo. Imposible naman I could say si Senator Bato na hindi nagpapakita. Mga ganun pong bagay yung mga naisip ko. So, parang natansya ko na rin po, possibly na si Senator Cheese.
Well, when it comes to a full-fledged Senate President, I think everyone concedes na talagang kailangan 13 votes because that's what's required under the Constitution. To finally elect, for example, acting Senate President Sherwin Gatchalian as the full-fledged Senate President, there has to be 13 votes. May nakikita ka bang posibleng tumawid from the Cayetano block to the Gatchalian block?
Well, I think it's Senator Villanueva.
Bakit?
Kasi kung tinitingnan ko po yung mga post ng bawat isa, kung sino yung mga nag-share ng mga live po sa social media ni Senator Alan Peter Cayetano. Pero sa mga nakaraang araw po, parang wala pong masyadong nakita na post ni Senator Villanueva about it. And it's kind of interesting kasi parehas si Senator Cheese and Senator Villanueva ay kinasuhan ko sa Supreme Court.
Kinasuhan mo sa Supreme Court
Yes po,
sila? Okay. Anong kinaso mo kay Senator Cheese?
Kay Senator Cheese ay as the legality o at least yung about doon sa question ng pag-donate po ni Lawrence Lubiano sa kanya during the campaign. And then kay Senator Villanueva, nung time na parang nagkaroon ng alleged secret reversal ng ombudsman decision sa kanya noong 2016, tapos noong 2019, and then 2025 na lang nalaman or late na.
So these are still both pending in the Supreme Court?
Sa kay Senator Cheese, they accepted my motion for leave. And then kay Senator Villanueva, as I checked last week, it was claimed by, or I think the third division of Supreme Court claimed jurisdiction with it.
Some of your previous filings were dismissed by the Supreme Court on procedural grounds. How did that past experience affect the way you prepared for the petition for certiorari that you filed on Friday with respect to the Senate gridlock?
Well, I learned a lot from the Tayam versus Dumagoso. Since number one, I learned na talaga tinanggap ko po, I'm not from Manila to question, for example, yung issue kasi back then was the garbage fee then. And then the hierarchy of courts. So there were questions ng mga facts doon. So ako, I take note na kapag mag-file ako ng petition, talagang in-establish ko po na mabuting aking locus standi. And pagdating naman sa mga question na since this is Supreme Court, they only accept question of law na purely question of law lang. Hindi po mag-question ng facts na kagaya ng nag-rule doon po sa Tayam versus Dumagoso.
And you ran for Congress before in
po,
Las Piñas. So yung pag-file mo ng mga kaso, what drives you to file these cases? Is it an advocacy that you have, or is it also related to wanting to have some presence in the national arena?
Well, I do believe it's my way of patriotism. Kasi ako, kapag sa sarili mo or sa loved ones mo, di ba, you're spending time, you're spending money, and it should be unconditional, you're not gonna expect in return. Same way din sa patriotism or love of country. Magbabayad ka, magpupuyat ka, ilalagay mo yung pangalan mo dyan, at tatanggapin mo yung mga basher. So dapat ganun din, wala kang ina-expect. Ako naman, nakita ko when the last election, kasi resulta niyan. When it comes to executive, too much bureaucracy or hindi agad-agad na matutupad yung gusto mo. Although there are some times na nagsusulat ako sa President, may mga napagbibigyan din naman. Para sa legislative branch, hindi naman ako pinalad na manalo as Congressman ng Las Piñas. Ito ang inaasahan kung sandigan ang judiciary po natin.
Should the Supreme Court dismiss your petition for certiorari either on the ground that it's a political question or that it's not the proper remedy because it should have been a petition for quo warranto, ano yung backup plan mo?
Well, sa akin, ayoko pangunahan, pero I could file for a motion for reconsideration to invoke the doctrine of transcendental importance or to the public interest. Pero ang mahalaga naman po kasi dito, Attorney Karen, is that the decision of the court na may mga yung ponensya na masasabi ng kote about dito sa quorum na to. And pag-aaralan to, and magiging magandang precedent to sa mga susunod na legal issues and conflict in the future.
Okay, maraming salamat po, Teacher Barry, and thank you for your advocacy.
Thank you rin po, Attorney Karen.
Whether the Supreme Court will step in or decline to act on the grounds of political question remains to be seen. But what is clear is that the continuing standoff in the Senate has raised important questions about quorum, leadership, and the functioning of a key democratic institution. Be informed, be insightful of the news. I'm Attorney Karen Jimeno. Always stay at the forefront.